Welcome to the Trading Desk, where we say money talks and conventional wisdom walks. My name is Dave Floyd with Aspen Trading Group, and as usual, joined with my fellow colleagues Matt Davio of Red Rock Partners and Jesse Felder of Felder & Company. Before we get into today's show, let's take a look at what happened in the markets during the terrible month of October.
This month on the trading desk, we saw some of the most severe downside trading in the overall world markets, for that matter. The S&P, as we usually like to show, would go from 1150 to a low of 820. You can see the wick on the chart here, traded all the way down to 820. We are now trading today, election day, at 1,000. So we've retraced about half of that move. I would suspect we're going to have a difficult time getting over 1150 over the next few months. We may continue to rally into the end of the year, but if 800 goes, as you see in the bottom of this chart, I would turn off the lights, but we'll probably hold for some time. If we do break under 800, things could get rough. Next chart is a Euro-Yen composite. And this shows the sharp breakdown that you saw in most currencies. The Euro-Yen was a place of safety for most traders over the course of the last, again, this chart's going back 7 years. We basically wiped out all gains in the Euro-Yen over the last 5 years. The pricing that we're sitting at today takes us back to 2003 prices. The next is the U.S. dollar. Again, Jesse and Dave had been talking about an oversold reaction coming in the dollar over the past few months. You see, we finally got the move from 70, actually hit the high 60s, and rallied all the way up to almost $88. So the U.S. dollar has strengthened as the market has finally started to recover here. And that usually does lead the overall market. The final is the TED spread, which is a measure of borrowing for banks. And again, you can see we spiked all the way up to near 5% overnight and have now pulled back to about 2.5%. Still a lot of room to work here and to see better times for credit markets, but we are working our way back down.
As you can see, the month of October was indeed terrible, down on average about 15% across all asset classes. It didn't matter how you were diversified, you felt the pain if you were along the market. Any thoughts, Jesse?
Anything, really.
Yeah.
I mean, except the dollar.
Dollar rallied
rallied last month. Stocks there was that 1 week leading up to October 10th. We had the worst week in the stock market since the 1930s. It was, this was a real crash in the stock market. I think.
Yeah, you had a real washout. You had a real margin call on, not only retail but mutual funds, hedge funds were all taking it on the chin. They were all long the same names, energy. All the commodities were heavily influencing this market, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, when you see oil and gold going down 4 and 5% in a day,
you also saw them going up that much. So I think all those people that were momentum on the upside here in July when oil was spiking to 150. Yeah. And we were all out buying Suburbans at the top of that market.
And it's come down almost $100 off the top. I mean, it's low 60s, as we,
Right. Yeah, again, retail pump prices are going from as high as $4.50, $4.70 down to, as you said,
under $2
in many parts of the country. Yeah. So it's moving very quickly.
Yeah.
And but again, today's election day. We're sitting here filming this before we know who the next leaders of our country are, but. There's going to be continued volatility, although the volatility also spiked to levels that we hadn't seen. I think we're going to continue to have some wider ranges than we had over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's some encouraging signs, that we could be getting closer to a bottom, but as we said in the last show, this bottom's going to be a process as opposed to a V bottom.
But it's something that I think that provides a lot of opportunities. Depending on how you look at the market, this is not a buy and hold market. There are times when it's okay to be buy and hold, but we're not in one of those, and maybe we can touch on that a little bit. But
well, it hasn't been this year. I think a lot of purchases made today. Like you say, there are opportunities. I think there's opportunities to buy stuff and hold it for the next few years, and it'll make you money.
Sure.
But that's probably something we should get to in the next segment.
Absolutely. Right now we got to go pay some bills, but when we come back, we'll continue this discussion. And later in the show, we're going to be talking about our visit to the Bend Venture Conference a couple weeks back. You're watching The Trading Desk on COTV Channel 11.